want those cheeks to be rosy with happiness instead of eczema? Looking for a way to reduce the amount of flare-ups and keep eczema under control? Well, first I will tell you a bit about what baby eczema is, and then I will tell you how to keep those flare-ups away because it is definitely treatable and it does get better. I'm Jade and this is my village. There are different types of eczema. It usually looks like a rough, red, crusty patch on your baby's skin, and they can get it anywhere, but it's usually on their cheeks or in between their arm and leg joints here. Once my son did have it all over his body, except for the diaper area, because it stays moist there. And it's definitely difficult, though, for those affected areas of the skin to retain moisture and keep the germs and bacteria out. According to the AAP, at least 10% of American children have it, and it's quite common among young babies, unfortunately, and it's very itchy. Doctors believe that there are many different factors that cause eczema, which is harder for us, like genetics, parents that had it, animals, allergies, and it happens because our baby's immune system overreacts. There are plenty of babies, though, that outgrow it by age 1. And more that outgrow it by age 5. But what do we do to keep it at bay until then? If you are ready to hear how, go ahead and hit that like button, pretty please. The AAP says that to treat eczema, you first need to start with 4 goals in mind. The first, and definitely the most important, is a maintenance skincare routine. That is what will repair the skin and help to prevent those flare-ups and stop them from coming back. We want their skin to be a barrier against the bacteria instead of soaking it in. And the second goal for treatment is anti-inflammatory medicine for when they do actually have a flare-up. But these are not necessary for all babies and really might not even be appropriate at all for babies who are under 6 months old. Next is controlling the itch, since scratching just makes them more itchy and really slows the healing time. The fourth and last goal is to avoid things that trigger their eczema flare-ups. So let's talk about how to achieve these goals and some ways to treat their delicate, beautiful skin. In this video, I'll tell you ways to do the skin maintenance, and I have another video, though, about how to actually treat the flare-ups. Both are very important. First up, keep their nails short, please. I use this electric nail file and I use it often. It's faster, easier than clippers, gets the nails even shorter and smoother compared to using nail clippers. My son started getting eczema around 3 months old, and we put long socks on his hands when he slept so that he wouldn't hurt himself scratching or make the skin infected. And when he got older, I tried lots of different things, but concluded that white cotton gloves worked the best, and I would tape them actually to the sleeves of his pajamas so that they wouldn't come off at night or he couldn't take them off. I know it sounds like a lot, but he kept getting flare-ups on his hands, still does sometimes, and if he scratches at night, he'll wake himself up. So maybe you've been there. Hopefully you don't have that problem, though, because it's not fun. Next, make sure that that little angel stays cool and does not sweat. Sweat is our enemy, so keep them in loose clothing, especially when they're sleeping. It just makes eczema reappear or really irritates what's already there. And drool actually does the same thing, so keep a bib on them and pat their little faces dry whenever you do see the drool. Baths should be shorter than 10 minutes, and I'll get into more detail about baths and moisturizing in a minute. Use detergent that's made for sensitive skin like All or Dreft, and no dryer sheets because that's a chemical too. Clothes should have no chemicals on them and no tags that rub against the skin. New clothes have to be washed also before they're worn. And our eczema journey included having to take my son to an allergist who said that he was allergic to a whole bunch of foods, actually, dairy, nuts, and that is what was causing his flare-ups. because I was actually eating all those foods, of course, and he was getting them through breast milk. So I had to stop eating those foods and eventually switch to a dairy-free formula down the road. But that's another story. If your baby hasn't been tested for allergies yet, then think of some of these common eczema triggers. Stress, yes, stress. Dust, fabrics, cigarette smoke, very dry air, detergents and soaps that have fragrance or not designed for sensitive skin, pet dander, food allergies, moisture from sweat and drool and milk. You'll want to keep your baby away from anything that might trigger a flare-up, obviously. Doing all of these things will help to prevent our babies from getting those irritating red, itchy patches. But what if they already have them? I know. Well, just watch my other video about treating the flare-ups for those remedies. And lastly, I want to tell you the right way to bathe the baby. If you bathe and moisturize, you are on your way to putting constant flare-ups in the past. So make sure that the water is not too hot or it will suck the moisture from their skin. A lukewarm bath will hydrate and cool the skin, but hot will not. And like I said, keep it under 10 minutes. What I found worked great in the bath was the colloidal oatmeal. I bought some of those packets that Aveeno makes, but I also made some by putting whole natural oatmeal in a blender. Actually, my mom did, but let me know if you want me to make a video about oatmeal baths in the comments. Don't use any more soap than you have to, and choose one that's designed for the sensitive or eczema skin and has no fragrance. Aveeno and Cetaphil are good options, for example. Don't scrub those red areas either. A gentle swipe is good enough, and no bubble bath, please. After he's clean, gently pat dry. Don't rub with a towel. Use the one that's been washed with everything-free detergent, put into the dryer with no dryer sheet. Then it's time for a fragrance-free cream while they're still damp. Opt for something nice and thick. I'm currently using pure shea butter just because out of the million things that we've tried, he actually likes this one and he asks me for it all the time. But Curel, CeraVe, Aveeno, Eucerin are some that make good creams. And don't just save the moisturizing for bath time. You can moisturize all day long if you want. I lotion those dry areas at least 3 times a day or whenever it looks dry. And it's nice to wet the hands or with the area first too before. If you just bought a new lotion or cream, be sure to try it on a small area before rubbing it all over their body, just in case they have a reaction. Some lotions have nut oils or flower parts in them that their skin might not like. And if you have a prescription ointment already, you can apply it to those red areas after the bath too, or as directed, of course. But the key here is to get their whole body lotion within 3 minutes of getting out of the bath water. So remember that, because the moisturizer is there to sort of seal in the water from the bath. Keep the skin nice and soft. And you'll want to give the cream time to absorb into the skin before dressing them too. And nationaleczema.org, it's an excellent resource for all things eczema. And they have a great list of recommended products, soaps, and lotions for you to try too. Definitely, they'll put that great cream on the affected areas at night and protect those areas if you can so they don't wake up with dry, itchy skin. But I'm confident that if you follow all of these steps, their skin will be back on the road to happiness, because it's exactly what worked for us. And this skincare routine and maintenance, plus the treating flare-ups, it really does work. So please talk to your pediatrician, because knowing those triggers will make things so much easier. And I'll give you some good vibes to help you guys. Now it's time to share this video with everyone that has to suffer along with a baby or a toddler that has eczema. Share your questions, struggles, your own tips and ideas too in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe and hit the bell for more helpful tips on parenting, and watch my next video.